The Toronto Blue Jays are going to be getting some reinforcements very soon. Yariel Rodriguez has been called up, and he will be active for tonight's ball game, as well as Ricky Tiedemann. He hasn't been called up yet, but I'm sure it won't be long because he looked really good in his last outing in rookie ball. So we'll break that down and much more in this episode of Jays Digest. Welcome in everybody to this episode of Jays Digest. I'm your host Peter Vryonis, alongside host Nick Gosse. Nick, coming off a sweep, things are not looking too good for the team. And I was wearing a Mets hat yesterday. Not going to be making that same mistake today, I should say. But it was my way of honoring the great Willie Mays, who played obviously for the Giants, the New York Giants, and one of the legends of the game, one of the greatest of all time. So rest in peace, Willie Mays, and all our thoughts are with his family in this time and with the Major League Baseball community as well. But we're going to be talking about a lot of exciting movement in the Jays pipeline here today, Nick. And the first domino to fall is Yariel Rodriguez, and he was pretty solid in his couple of rehab outings, a lot of strikeouts. Command a little bit wonky still, but we know that's a problem with him. He's still going to have to iron some of those things out, but he looked really good lately, and he's going to rejoin the team, and they need that reinforcement. They need his arm. They need his electric stuff. Don't know if it's going to be as a starter. Don't know if it's going to be as a back end bullpen guy. Remains to be seen. The Jays haven't really said anything on that front. But Nick, it's good to have him back. It's good that Ricky Tiedemann is back and healthy pitching. And I'm wondering where he fits into the fold as well.
Yeah, a brutal sweep against the Red Sox, but at least now we have some news to go over. That's at least the younger movement, at least with Ricky Tiedemann. But let's dive right into it. They made this move about an hour ago. It's pretty breaking news here. So Rodriguez is reinstated from the 15-day IL. Yeah, and Peter will start tonight's game. That was confirmed just about an hour ago. Ryan Burr is optioned to AAA. He had a pretty rough start his last go out there, and this is interesting. So Yariel Rodriguez is going to start. He won't be out of the bullpen right now. I assume Bowden Francis is going to piggyback him. A lot of speculation about where Yariel was going to fit in to whether it was the rotation or the bullpen. It is ultimately going to be in the rotation, at least for tonight's game against the Guardians, who are looking very, very good right now. So I don't know. It's an interesting thing. He's been okay for the Jays, a 4.11 ERA. He's been very good in AAA Buffalo, putting up a 1.33 ERA. What are your thoughts on this? He's going to be starting tonight.
I think it's good. I think the Jays need it. And the rotation has been snake bitten as well with injuries. And they were very healthy last year. They were very fortunate last year to not deal with anything long term. We know Gausman missed a couple of starts because of an ankle injury last season. But apart from that, everyone was pretty healthy. And Manoah wasn't great either. But they got contributions from a lot of other guys, and they didn't really feel the absence of Manoah. But now they're feeling it this year because Manoah looked good in his first few starts of the season. He was really headed in the right direction, and then bam, gets Tommy John surgery or reconstructive surgery, whatever it is, and he's out for the year. He's on the shelf, and now you're scrambling for options. They've gone with Trevor Richards. They've gone with Bowden Francis in a bulk role as well, and it hasn't really worked out, and especially when the depth is very thin in the bullpen, you can't afford to have one of your best arms in Trevor Richards start games for you and not be available later on in games if you manage to have a lead and have to close things out. So the Jays are in a very peculiar spot right now. They need contributions from pretty much everybody, all hands on deck, because I don't know if Yariel Rodriguez can go 6 or 7 innings. I don't think that's in the plans. He's more of a 4, maybe 5 inning guy if he's very efficient on that night. So the Jays are still going to need their bullpen to step up and get big time outs for them. But this should provide some relief because Rodriguez has shown the ability to get outs at the big league level, and he's got great stuff. We know that. It's just about getting through innings cleanly and effortlessly and not having to throw 30 pitches and getting into deep counts. So that's going to be his biggest challenge. But from what I saw from him in AAA and the way that he's been performing lately, I think he's ready for this challenge. And the Jays don't really have many better options, so I think this is the right call.
Yeah, and you look at his innings pitched, I mean, really across his entire professional career, but even with the Blue Jays, 4 games, 15 innings. With the AAA Buffalo Bisons, 20 innings in 8 games. So it's like he's not going to go six or seven innings unless he's extremely efficient. He's going to kind of be hovering around the 4 to 5 inning mark. And especially for his first start back in the majors, I suspect Bowden's going to be warming up in the third or fourth inning, depending how things go. So let us know in the comments what your thoughts are on that. But Peter, talking about reinforcements to the starting rotation at some point in the Blue Jays season, either this year or next year, Ricky Tiedemann was dominant, and this is really good to see. You can see from Pipeline, number 2 prospect, dominates for the single A Dunedin Blue Jays. 98.2 miles per hour he hit through 20 of his 28 pitches for strikes, and quite frankly, he didn't give up a hit. He struck out 4 hitters in 2 innings. Like, he looked as good as he has in a very long time, and this is extremely encouraging. You can look at the advanced metrics, pause and look at it if you want, and just look at all the different, the whiff percentage and things like that. I'm happy, and we said it after his first start where he went like a third of an inning. It was just good that he got his 39 pitches in or whatever it ended up being. The results are going to come, and they did come in his second start, and he's looking very, very good. Do I think he plays for the Jays this year? I don't know, but it's good to see him back and be healthy.
Maybe in a bullpen role because he's nowhere near ramped up yet. Like the 28 pitches is not enough of a sample size for him to be able to start a major league game within a couple of weeks. So he's still a ways away. And obviously the competition that he faced with the Dunedin Blue Jays is not great either. He's way beyond rookie ball.
Yeah.
He's no longer at that level. He's a triple A level pitcher, double A level pitcher, and he's a fringe major leaguer at this point of his career. He's very talented. He has no business being there, but it is a rehab start, and it is nice to see him being able to hone into his control and not walking guys, because that has been a problem for Tiedemann as well in the past. It's being able to command his pitches and the consistency in which he does that. So it's nice to see him throw 20 strikes out of 28 pitches, but I want to see it against better competition, and I want to see it for longer as well, because 28 pitches, it's nice. It's nice that he's back and healthy again, but the Jays are going to try to accelerate this process a little bit, because I think he can play a big role for the team this year as well, because he's got great stuff. And the Jays don't have many guys with great stuff in their organization right now. So I think Tiedemann slots in nicely towards the end of the year if the Jays are still in the realm of possibility of making the playoffs. And I think he's a very great talent. He just has to stay healthy. We know that. We know that he's a great talent, and we know how electric his stuff is, but the injuries have been holding him back. And if he can't stay on the field, then what good is talent? So he's got to find a way to be efficient with his movements and try to stay healthy. I know you can't control injuries, but he's got to take really good care of his body, because the Blue Jays are going to need him down the line.
Yeah, I'm less worried about the results. I'm just happy he got his pitches in and that he threw 98 miles an hour, because
Yeah.
the results are going to have to come at, like you said, AAA level, AA level, and eventually this season, I would say, the major league level, depending on how things go. But let us know in the comments what your thoughts are on that. And hopefully the Jays can take care of business tonight, because, Peter, they are, according to Baseball Reference, they have a 4.5% chance of making the playoffs and a 96.5% chance of missing the playoffs. But hopefully that can change tonight when they play the Cleveland Guardians. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you soon.